So tens of thousands of protests in Prague against Czech government, EU, and NATO. This is a U.S. news story from yesterday. An estimated 70,000 people protested in Prague against the Czech government on Saturday, calling on the ruling coalition to do more to control the soaring energy prices and voicing oppositions of the EU and NATO. Organizers of the demonstration from a number of far-right and fringe political groups, including the Communist Party, said the Central European nations should be neutral, military, and ensure direct contracts with gas suppliers, including Russia. Police estimates to put the numbers of protesters at around 70,000 by mid-afternoon. The aim of our demonstration is to demand change, mainly in solving the issue of energy prices, especially electricity and gas, which will destroy our economy this autumn. Event co-organizer Gerald Havel told IDNES.cz news website the protest was held at a day after the government survived a no-confidence vote amid opposition claims of inaction against inflation and energy. By the way, this is going on in UK. This is going on in Europe.
Yep.
UK prices are up 89%. Norway is saying to charge a Tesla today is $100 just to charge a Tesla. This is a real crisis that's going on in Europe.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, how do you open this up? This is extraordinary. I mean, people are genuinely worried about the planet, about climate change. On the other hand, ill-devised policies, unrealistic expectations of others, naivety, if you like, placing our dependence on manufacturing or energy sourcing or whatever from regimes that are autocratic. Ask Germany. They put all their eggs in the basket of trusting the Russians to supply them with energy. Then you've got people like the Sri Lankans who said we'll be purer than pure and we'll phase out artificial fertilizers because it's a major emitter. And now their people are starving and rioting in the streets. We've got a massive problem.
This is a real issue. This is a big issue.
This is really big time. If badly designed policy will lead to massive political unrest everywhere. And if we're not careful, it's going to do something else. We will weaken our own economies massively whilst we make the autocratic regimes stronger.
Yeah. So then this goes back to, did we do the right thing to get in the way? NATO constantly trying to get Ukraine to be a part of it, to go against what Putin was asking for. Because here's what we just said. This is a New York Post story. Europe's energy fears mount as Russia keeps its gas pipeline closed.
Yes, that's right.
The planned reopening of Russia's main gas pipeline to Germany was halted Saturday after state energy from Gazprom said it found an oil leak in a turbine of Nord Stream 1, deepening fears of a winter energy crisis throughout Europe.
Yep.
The announcement fueled accusations that Russia is seeking to weaponize its sway over the world energy market, which would you be surprised? I wouldn't be. This was predictable, and it was predicted. Former Secretary Mike Pompeo wrote on Saturday, "I told you so" tweet. I warned Germany not to rely on Russian energy. Energy security is national security, which is why we must rein our energy independence. President Zelensky of Ukraine also took to social media to condemn the development. When a state turns energy poverty or hunger into a weapon, it harms everyone in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, these are the ripple effects of some decisions that you make. You're going to piss off Putin and he can play this game.
Two huge issues here for Western societies. The first is naivety.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to stop. Leaders especially should not be naive. Whether it's the Chinese saying, no, we won't militarize the South China Seas. And we say, oh, well, no, you're nice people, you won't. Well, what did they do?
They did it.
You know, in the Middle East, don't cross this red line. We cross the red line, what happens? Naivety is inexcusable in leadership. That's the first point. The second point is the massive dishonesty that pretends you can have your cake and you eat it too. We don't have the technologies yet to move to renewables and net zero. We have neither a political nor a technological pathway to net zero by 2050. Now, I happen to believe, I'm not a climate change denier. I believe we need to take these things seriously, but I think we'll utterly, if we abandon our humanity in terms of feeding people, if we hand over control of the global architecture to the forces of darkness, the rules-based international system that the Americans put in place, I mean, the West put in place as the victors after 1945, but the Americans drove and have upheld ever since. If we're going to break those, what we'll actually do by not being honest with ourselves about the real policy options before us, the real choices that have to be made, we'll do the very thing I've touched on here. The very wealthy, the people pushing all this stuff, leaning on governments, save Gaia. I don't know, do you have that expression here? It's an old Roman thing, the environment. God, Earth is God, Mother Earth. Now, we all want to save Gaia. I don't know too many people who want to damage Gaia. But there are other things that go with it. And you have to be honest with people. And if you're going to have all the tech billionaires and all those people who have become so staggeringly wealthy telling governments that you've absolutely got to force everybody to buy a Tesla and you've got to, make them do all of these things in the name of climate change without explaining the cost, you're setting yourself up for the very destruction of a trust-based political system like democracy.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.